We are here in solidarity with our workers, our trade unions, and the good people of Zimbabwe. For the past few weeks, Zimbabwe have been under a serious carnage, where there have been abuse of human rights, where there have been mass protests arising from a very bad policy of government that is biting very hard on the citizens, where the cost of a very important commodity was increased unilaterally without taking the citizens on board. And there was massive protests where the trade unions participated and declared in the first instance a 3 days of national strike. Whereas this is a peaceful protest that is allowed by the UN Convention, that is allowed by African and Human Charter for Human and People's Rights, that is allowed by ILO Convention 87, and it is also the foundation of the Philadelphia Declaration of ILO in 1919, where it is said that social justice must be the platform to advance issues of development, and where it is also declared that injustice anywhere, injustice everywhere. We are here as NLC. We are here as working people and women of Nigeria to show our solidarity and also to express our disdain to the president of Zimbabwe, because it has shown clearly that he has taken the law into his hands. Secondly, he has also undermined citizens' right to protest freely on policies that are anti-people. We demand that there should be an end to this carnage. We demand that all our trade unionists, including the General Secretary of the Zimbabwean Congress of Trade Union, Comrade Japet, should be released unconditionally. We demand also that the rape going on in the country on our women should stop. We demand that the killing must be brought to an end, and incessant arrests should also be brought to an end. We say shame to the president of Zimbabwe. Shame! Shame to the president of Zimbabwe. Shame to the president of Zimbabwe. We know as a matter of fact that the Zambian Congress of Trade Union and the good workers, Zimbabwean Congress of Trade Union and the good workers of Zimbabwe were in the forefront of the liberation struggle. They fought for Zimbabwe to be liberated. In fact, it is on record that it is because of their support that Zimbabwe got its independence and it was liberated. How can we at this point in time, in a democratic dispensation that is supposed to be government for the people, government by the people, and government for the people, can now turn around against the citizens, against the workers of that country? We say no to that carnage. No to that carnage. As we speak today, our union members and trade unionists from across the globe will be lending their support and solidarity to the people of Zimbabwe, to the trade unionists of Zimbabwe. And I assure you that in 163 countries where ITUC has its presence, the International Trade Union Confederation, this particular action will be taking place. For us, this is the first instance. If there is no response, and if our letter is not communicated to Zimbabwe, I assure you that this is just a few number. We'll be here in a very massive number, and we'll close down this place until Zimbabwe is able to respond to our letter. Yay! The letter is going to be delivered, and we expect to receive a formal response from Zimbabwe. If there is no formal response, it then means there is no two-way communication. And therefore, Nigerian workers will stand their ground firmly, will also protest and ensure that the right thing is done. Am I speaking your voice? Very well. Am I communicating? Yes. So we are not going to be tired until the right thing is done. We are calling on ILO to deploy all necessary convention to make sure that the government of Zimbabwe is actually brought to book. We also call on the African Union to deploy its machinery to make sure that the citizens of that country are protected against exploitation, against human rights abuse that have been very perverse in that country. We also call on the UN to actually deploy the instrument that protects human rights, the instrument that will also ensure that Zimbabwe is actually brought to justice. We are, as ITUC, will also write a formal petition to the International Court of Justice, because the situation requires also an urgent action, because it is criminal for any government to turn around and kill a citizen. The blood of those citizens will surely be on the shoulders of Zimbabwe, and therefore we demand also that the UN deploy all its machineries to make sure that this issue is addressed. And therefore we want to say once again that we condemn in very strong terms the condition and situation of citizens, workers, women, children in Zimbabwe. We say no to such carnage, and we demand justice. We demand stoppage. We demand the liberation of all people that have been under illegal detention in that country. In fact, he should be held responsible for whatever happened to those citizens. Am I speaking your voice?
Yes.
There is victory.